Hello and welcome to the Tier 2 stream. My name is Taylor, and before we get to the racing, we're going to do a couple of pre-race interviews for you guys, trying something out. We will have Bobina, Ritchie, and Feta with us this week. So, we start with Ritchie. So, championship leader right now. You have 4 more races left. How do you think these last races could play out?
Well, that entire sentence right there, that's still pretty amazing to me. I really didn't expect to be here for this long. Definitely a lot of competition, and yeah, with the last 4 races is going to be the hardest challenge of it all to try to fend off from Bobina, who's just right there. I This track that we're going to right now, Japan, isn't one that I would say I'm really my strongest at. But the upcoming ones, those are the ones that I'm definitely looking forward to, and I hope to be able to defend from Bobina and, just try to hold this lead. And yeah.
And you guys are also sitting third in constructors, 16 points behind McLaren, 3 points behind Racing Point. Do you think you could also possibly have a good run at constructors too? Or do you think McLaren's going to have that?
Well, constructors hasn't been my strong suit from the moment that I joined BRL. It's always been pretty low, but I do feel very comfortable with the way that Alfa Romeo is heading coming into this final end of the season. I definitely want to give McLaren a run for their money and Racing Point as well, who's right there. And yeah, making this final end of the season as exciting as possible in both championships would be, well, except for the drivers, because I want to win that. But for the constructors championship, that's something that I feel like we have the potential to fight for.
Which I'm gonna move over to Bobina, who is a driver from the McLaren team. Yep, you have. Are you second or third in championship? I know you're top 3. Yeah, so you're second in the championship. Last 4 races, obviously. You think you can close that 38-point gap?
I think I can close it, but I probably won't win the championship because it's 4 races. But yeah, I think what is it? If I can close it up a bit, I'll be happy.
And yeah, leading the constructors over Racing Point and Alpha. You think you and Zeno can close that out?
If Zeno can get a bit more luck, then we can definitely close it out. But without him to help me, then it's gonna be a bit closer than it should be.
Alright, and I don't think Fed is going to join the party. Do you want to get Ichigo instead?
Sure.
I'm waiting to see if we were going to get Feta or Ichigo. Alright, we're going to get Ichigo. Ichigo. Make sure your audio is included. Oh, now fantasy. Alright, Feta, you're good. Feta, just go. Alright, so, yeah, Ichigo, you and Feta are both out of the, you guys are both out of the driver's fight, but you guys are still have a good shot at the constructors. What do you think about you and Feta? You guys think you have any good chances in these next 4 races?
Thought about this. So we're not winning this constructors fight. We'll try our best, but I mean, I don't see it happening unless like Zeno misses more races and like both the Alfa Romeos die. But other than that, no, I don't see it happening. I'm not. But whatever, I don't care. We're vibing.
Alright. I'm pretty sure that's all I have for you. That was Ritzy, Bobina, and Ichigo. Your top 3 in constructors battle.
Bye.
Bobina and Ritzy being first, the top 2 in points. And so yeah, just a couple more minutes, and then we'll be underway for qualifying.
Can I take my stacks on the way out?
Sure.
Right, what do you guys have in the cooler?
peanut M&Ms
Why do you keep M&Ms in the cooler?
Yeah, I was about
so they don't melt.
stupid.
Oh, what?
I'm gonna take this Haagen-Dazs ice cream and
I got a Dr. Pepper. You want a Dr. Pepper?
I don't. Do you have a Mountain?
I do not. I'm out of Mountain Dews. I have a Sprite.
That works.
Alright, I'll get you the Sprite.
Sprite and ice cream, best combo.
Get all
That's
the
so nice.
All right, fun guys.
Was that enough emotional stress for you today, Taylor? Yeah, just keep it in. What are you gonna get DoorDash or Zaxby's now too? Didn't you have it a couple days ago? Do it again. Well then. Well then, a little bit of weather. That'll be fun. Welcome along to the Breakout Racing League Tier 2 Championship Round 14 and the Japanese Grand Prix here at the beautiful country of Japan. Japan, then, the country that is made mostly of mountains and 4 major islands and has the 11th largest population in the world, but is also a superstitious country, with the number 4 being extremely unlucky. Who will start 4th, and can they overcome that superstition today? Speaking of starting, the Suzuka circuit, first held for Formula One races in 1987, has numerous of historic races over across the 32 years of this great circuit in the Formula One history. Senna and Prost, Kimi Räikkönen's charge, and many, many more. The 3.61 mile, 5.8 kilometer circuit has 18 corners, 8 to the left and 10 to the right, with 1 DRS zone being the main straight, and look out for overtaking in that chicane that is before the final straight after 130R. But you can't rely on the drag reduction system this time like you could a week ago with 3 DRS straights at Singapore. There's only 1, so overtaking has to be done on pure merit and not from the DRS straight itself. The figure 8 circuit possesses the highest cornering speeds on the calendar, which means the average lap of a 221 km per hour speed means the drivers don't have much rest. Well, that often pays off, as BRL Skeppy, our last season's pole sitter in Season 5 for Tier 2, with a 1 minute 26.426, and it's going to be the lap that all these drivers are going to be trying to beat. Well, they can't, because it's raining. We'll see how this weather implements the race strategy as well. But the race, however, is something completely different. It often throws a spanner in the works of things. XD Ishigo, who made it about 4 corners before crashing out of the last year's race, I should say, starting from second on the grid. It can change in a matter of moments. Well, the other Mercedes benefited by Jurgenog. He grabbed the victory last season ago and took home the victory at the Japanese Grand Prix and 25 points. Well, we'll see who can possibly do the same tonight. Well, now on to the championship. Only 4 races to go, as you heard from Taylor earlier today, and the pre-race interviews. It is time to go. Bobina has 38 points, separating him and the championship leader of Ritzy Raccoon, and those two are in a league of their own. 75 points clear of the Mercedes of Luis, who unfortunately cannot make it here again today. Well, he's only 4 points clear of Zeno, who right now is tentative. He could possibly join in the latter stages of qualifying. Keep an eye on that. We could have a new P3 in the championship after tonight. Well, Zanav, Port, and his teammate Sweller, all those drivers are separated by 1 single point. In fact, both Alpha Tauris are tied on points with 80 respectively. Well, with DXD in 8th, Feta in 9th, and Facetas in 10th, and rounding out the top 10 of the Drivers' Championship, it is all to play for with these 4 rounds to go. But one thing that's also all to play for, like we talked about, is the Constructors' Championship. 13 points separating McLaren and Racing Point, but don't look now. Alfa Romeo's made a charge as of late. They're now 3 points back from Racing Point, 16 points back from the championship leaders of McLaren. 5 points back from them is Red Bull. They sit 4th, AlphaTauri 5th, Mercedes 6th, Renault 7th, Ferrari 8th, with Williams 9th and Haas rounding out the top 10. Well, now then, I'm joined alongside Taylor, and this week is going to be a little bit different. A little bit of rain is going to affect the qualifying session, so no easy way to go and figure out who's going to be on pole. These drivers have a completely different track position and track conditions than they will in the race. How will that affect them?
Which I have found out that the rain will not stay for the race, so it will be a dry race. So we will not see any rain throughout the whole weekend, but this will still shake up quali quite a bit.
Yes, it definitely can. The first one that will come to the line is actually going to be the Racing Point of DXD Ishigo. He loves the rain in several connotations, and like a season ago, like I said prior, he started on the outside pole position in P2 here. Can he do it again, this time in the wet conditions here at Suzuka? We have another driver who is new to Tier 2. We have Mumu in the Williams going partner alongside CRS Facetas in the Williams. That's going to be the first time I think both Williams have showed up, if not the entire season. So we'll see what he can do on his debut for Tier 2. And speaking of DXD, he's left the session. So go get him.
God.
We'll see what these drivers can do. The last time the rain affected a Grand Prix, either qualifying or the race, was Spa. And that's where Shamrock took quite a big advantage on a strategy call, got himself a P4. And speaking of the Haas, the other Haas is joining, and Neymar is back in the session. And that is Killer out of the session already. Is that in the pit lane? No, that is the final corner, turn 18.
I'm currently inviting it to go back, so I cannot see what happens.
He's back, but Killer
Oh, he's
is
back.
gone. Oh, that is a big collision there. I believe he had pit wall entry collision with the pit wall. That is not good. Not good indeed. The Renault is already out of qualifying, and it's been 5 minutes.
Yeah, so who will actually be the first lap now? Seeing that, Ritty will be the first lap.
First one on a lap.
Since it should go a semi-clip delay. It doesn't look pretty out there.
Cool. No, it doesn't. It's full wet conditions. The full wet tire, they disperse, what is it, about 40 liters of water per second. These drivers are having a lot of conditions. As you saw about a couple years back, there was a, what was it called? Not sure what the exact word was, but it was, the rain came and it rained out qualifying, and that seems to have come today. We'll see what Ritzy can do. Last time he was in a rain-affected position, he won the race. We'll see what he can do here at Suzuka, coming around turn 17 into 18. He's going to be the first one to set a time. It's going to be the one that everyone's chasing, a 39.0, actually a 39.8 flat. Let's see what they can do on that Alfa Romeo lap time. The next one's going to be behind him. It's going to be a Ferrari.
Of Aiden, and then Fazonic will follow.
Aiden. It'll be both. And there it is. Zeno has joined. So we will now have,
14.
14 drivers on the grid.
Mm-hmm. I don't think anybody else will be joining, so.
See what Aiden can do. He had a really good start to his Tier 2 season, and it can only go about a 41.4, but there's enough fuel for multiple laps here
Just to
within the
Zonic
wet. Let's see what
invalidated.
they can do. Zonic invalidated. We'll see if Facedas is coming around. He came out of the pit lane. The Williams is now going through turn 2. Let's see what he can do. He's 10th in the championship, not too far adrift of both racing points in 9th and 8th. Let's see what he can do this, this race. Mumu goes up to P5, 43.2. 43.1 goes to Feta. Bobina 40.8. He's about a second off of the racing point. I believe that is going to be Sweller. Goes up to P5, 42.4. Ginger goes up to P3.
I think a lot of drivers are getting a feel for the track, seeing that Richie is currently the only driver at a 39, with Bobina being a second off. So, yeah, the first, I'd say, 5 minutes of quali is going to be just learning the track, seeing how the conditions feel.
This track in the dry is not an easy track, so we'll see what they can do in the wet.
Also, our timer, I'm pretty sure, is going to be a couple minutes ahead, as it took,
Right.
well, it looked like, well, from Bobina's stream, it looked like it took them a couple minutes to look in.
Let's see what they can do. The wet session is going to be quite hampering some of these drivers. What are the ones that were kind of banking on a dry qualifying session? Well, they have to try to go and wrestle their or through all the way, like you saw Shamrock doing through the Dunlop curve. He's going through into the Degnas now. We'll see what the Haas can do. How committed is he through Degna 1? Very committed indeed in the wet. How much can he go through Degna 2? Beyond the power and now into the hairpin.
Which AstroTurf on the outside of the second deck you do not want to touch in the rain. That is asking to get sent to the inside wall. So that's something to watch out for.
Well, the last time we went to Suzuka, it was a very interesting race indeed, crash-wise. There was a couple crashes in Tier 2 a season ago. Like I said, DXD was one of them after 4 corners of the Grand Prix. Another one happened not in Tier 2, but in Tier 5. There was a very violent crash coming in the exit of the hairpin, where a car actually got airborne. So, hopefully that doesn't happen again today. Going through 130R, not quite flat. It's a little more risky through the wet weather conditions. But now into the final chicane. What can Shamrock do? Like I said, he took advantage of the wet weather last time he was in it. Can he take advantage of it today? It's the line he goes, P3. 40 flat for the Haas driver. Not too far off. Speaking of not too far off, Bobina is about a 10th off of the championship leader in Ritzy. That is actually a big lockup going into the hairpin front left tire. We'll see what Bobina can do. Not too far. Separates the first 3 drivers. 2/10 separates those guys. With Ginger not too far off. About a 2nd and a 10th off in P4. DXD sits P5 with the 41 flat. About 2/10 adrift of Ginger. Neymar is back, and both Ferraris sit not too far. Actually, they sit 40 thousandths of a second. Actually, I'm sorry, 40 hundredths of a second off each other in P6 and P7 respectively. Aiden comes around the final corner through 18 to the line. He improves, goes to a 40.0 ahead of Shamrock and into P3.
Zonic's not on a bad lap either. Probably go up to 6th. Let's say about 5th. Not bad. Beta goes P6. Here comes the McLarens. Or Zeno starting his lap. And then goes into the pit lane.
Well, we'll see how this can be done here. You saw the track is definitely evolving. Everyone's getting a little bit faster. Shamrock goes up to P3, then dropped down to P4, and Ginger was in P3 and has dropped down to P6 after another lap. He actually was down in P8 or so not too long ago. So everyone's starting to get a little bit more comfortable with the cars. Everyone's starting to get a little bit more daring with the wet weather conditions and trying to find that traction the best they can through the rest of the track. Sector 1 is going to be difficult, though.
Yeah, with the winding S's, I mean, you get a little offline, that practically is going to ruin your lap, so they're going to have to be very precise if they want to, set it. Who spun?
Speaking of being very precise, Ginger got a little bit offline on Dunlop. He got into the grass a bit and had to correct that Mercedes. Thankfully, he keeps out of the barriers and keeps going. Saves his qualifying session with about 6 minutes left in the session.
Which Aiden is 5/10 up right now, so just provisionally at a 39.5, which would be pole. As he did get a lot of wheel spin through the final chicane. We'll see how bad that hindered him. Still go pole at a 39.7 flat.
A 10th dead ahead of the other Ferrari-powered car of the Alfa Romeo and Rizzi. But Rizzi did 1 flying lap. Aiden did 4. What Rizzi can do, he's on a flying lap now, going through Degna 2. Wait till he goes to the next timing sector. He gets a little bit traction loss going through Degna 2, a little bit off, and a little bit squirrely through into the hairpin through turn up 10 into 11. Now we're going up into the run into Spoon. This corner is flat easily. In the dry, not so much in the wet. It can be very sketchy if you don't be too careful. Now into Spoon, one of the most infamous corners on the track, on the circuit indeed, and on the calendar. We'll see how these drivers negotiate it through, not only in the qualifying session, but in the race as well. Not too bad of a session so far for Rizzi. He's done 1 lap. He's been P2. That's a yellow flag, and that is going to be the Williams. Is that going to be... I think it's going to be...
Mercedes.
Mercedes. Oh, and Rizzi's off too.
Yep, at the exit of 130R.
Same corner. Not sure if he has damage, but his laugh is definitely hampered. He does not have damage. He escaped from that one.
He's gonna go right
He's gonna
back
go
to
again.
pushing. I would have given it a lap to, let the tires cool down a bit, but I guess he fears nothing right now.
I believe the next one up, he actually goes wide in turn 1 and validates, so there goes that push lap as it started.
Zeno will be the next.
Tizanic is going to be the next one. I'm sorry, Lead will be next.
Is it Bobina or Tizanic? Or Zeno? Tizanic's not on a cooldown lap. Yeah. Zeno's gonna be the next car. Or never mind, Zeno's not even on a lap. Man.
Both Ferraris have pitted. Bobina is in the pits as well. Mercedes is going through 130R now. He's going to go in. He has front wing damage on his left front. He's going to go also box. 3 minutes
wait,
and 50
Sweller.
seconds left to go in this session.
Sweller's very offline through Spoon. Neymar's invalidated behind him.
He was 2 tenths up so far in the sector, so that'll put him about 2.2 off adrift of the racing point P9. It looks like he might have actually backed off a tad bit or taken a little bit cautious through in 130R.
Ichigo will be next. Ichigo 5 tenths up. Ooh, very cautious to 130R though. We'll see how much that hampers him on the slab. Is that Ritzy behind him?
Here, the rain. Just how heavy it is hitting the cars. As DXT goes up to P7, that is a yellow flag. That is going to be the Williams. That's going to be
Mumu.
Moo, actually. Dunlop. Trying to let through, I believe that is Ginger. Yes, he is going on an outlap, the Mercedes driver. That is on an outlap. He's going to start his flying lap. 2 minutes and 41 seconds left in the session. He has about 2 runs in the bag. Has he filled for enough? Let's see. He's P9 at the moment, so he has plenty of time and can only go up from here. Everyone else is still in the pits. They're going to go for one last dash. They're not too far away from it, though. Those 2 timing sectors. 1/10 separates the first 3 from each other. That is a yellow flag. And that's going to be...
It's actually our... Oh, it's the Ferrari of or no, it's Aiden.
Feta goes off.
Yeah, everyone's spinning off at turn 4.
Big snap.
It does not. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's gonna get.
And that is gonna be it.
And if Mercedes comes around the corner and Mercedes is on an. Oh, Richie. I guess it's gonna get later. And by the way, our timer is 2 minutes ahead, so there's technically 4 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
3 minute 50. Close enough.
Yeah, just about.
There is a yellow flag from Sector 1. No, I'm sorry, from Sector 2 to Sector 3. So everyone except for Sector 1 has a yellow flag. Now that's all cleared.
Which, I don't know if you're looking at tires or not. But I see a man in Alfa Romeo trying something different than the rest of the field.
We'll have to look and see how that goes. That is going to be something interesting. Will it go dry enough for the intermediate tires? And if it does, who will take the gamble? Ritzy's the only one.
I was watching his Sector 1 and it's... Obviously he's not pushing yet, but... Looks like it's understeering quite a bit, so...
Flag. It's yellow flag everywhere, so I don't know. There we go. The chicane. That's a Haas. Is that going to be Neymar? No, it's not going to be Neymar. It is going to be Shamrock, I believe. A little off the pace going through turn 11. Zeno, the only one to set a time that hasn't so far. He's going to go for the flying. He's going to line. He's going to start another flying lap. Looks like he was on an out lap due to the glitch. We didn't know. Behind him, is that going to be...
Proceed to starting a lap.
Instead of starting a lap, that's going to be a Racing Point Boxing. Feta, he's done a qualifying, I'm pretty sure. Is it 2 minutes in front? No, he may have enough time to get back
He
out.
should have enough time. Because you only need about 2:15, I think, in the Racing Point
around
garage.
there.
Anyone come and finish a lap?
Is Sweller on a flying?
Ginger's on a lap. He comes to the line. He only improved by 13 thousandths, so he won't go anywhere. And it says session has expired, but there's still another 2 minutes left, according to Bobina's stream.
Sweller goes to the line. We'll see if he has improved a bit. Yes, he has. He's now got about 3/10 improvement. 42.0, still about 2, or actually 1.6 or so adrift of the Racing Point. That was, I believe Neymar just said that. Up to P4, it's going to be a Haas 4.5 at the moment. Let's see how that plays out. The next one, I think, on a lap would be the McLaren of Zeno. It looks like he's valid.
I'm just on board with Ritzy watching these first couple corners, and I don't know.
It looks a little too heavy.
We'll see a Sector 1 split.
We'll see. Zeno goes up to the line. He joined a little bit late. Can he go P2?
P2.
About 2 milliseconds separating him
Oh.
from P1.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not interconditioned. Ritzy's drifting through every corner. He's a second and a half down. He tried something and
Aiden goes up. Aiden goes faster.
2 tenths. 2.5 tenths just about. What's coming to the line?
McLaren of Bobina. He goes up to P3.
Zonic
DXC's
setting up.
retired in the pit lane.
Oh, Tazonic. Save it. Oh, it's Tazonic's wrecked across the line. Don't get disqualified. Okay.
It's like qualifying over for the Ferrari and the Williams and the Racing Point, as well as Killer, the only driver that has retired from the session due to a crash, not retiring in the pit lane. That's going to be quite hampering his race. He'll start from P14. Yellow flag. That looks like it's going to be... I'm not sure what that is, actually. It looks like it's Sweller and the Haas. Sweller looks like he may be out of gas, taking the wide and, I guess, adventurous line in the pit lane. Keeps out of harm's way.
Actually, Zeno doesn't have control of his car. There's still another. Actually, session has expired for the drivers now on their screens, so it's weird. Who will be
So
the
it
next
is
line?
done or it isn't done?
I think these are all the final laps. Everyone coming to the line. This is it for the
Let's see
session.
what Zeno can do. Moo retires from the session. Zeno, he is done. He cannot get another flap. Aiden, he comes around the final corner through 16 into 17 and 18 now. He's already on pole in the Ferrari. Can he make it
And
even go
Push, like,
faster? Yes, he can.
almost
38.9.
5 tenths. Here's Rabina. 4 tenths up from Sector 2. He won't get there. He will... Oh, 0.03 off of his teammate for second. Ginger next to line, who's 8 tenths up.
It looks like the session is done as we see the AI
Yeah.
filling through.
All these drivers, their laps will count. Ginger goes
P2 to Ginger. Wow.
Here comes the Haas of Drunken
Great
Shamrock.
lap.
He goes P5. Who's next? Tazonic. Tazonic's done. He invalidated the lap. Last driver will be Feta, who is actually almost 2 tenths down at the Sector 2 split. He does lock up the right
To the
front.
final corners. See what he can do. He's P11. He's behind his teammate by about less than a tenth. As he
spins
off the
it.
track.
Which actually, I just noticed. Ritzy fell to 6th off of that chance. Or
He
that
did.
risk on the inners. So. Yeah.
That'll do it for qualifying as we wait for design to be rolled back into the garage. Aiden
That's it.
had a great finish in qualifying a week ago. Well, he'll go one better. He'll grab pole position for the Japanese Grand Prix here in Tier 2. And what a great and weighted pole for the Ferrari man himself. Ginger P2, what a great lap, 2/10 off. And look at the McLarens, row 2, with Zeno ahead of Bobina. Shamrock P5, Ritzy, the championship leader. He's going to start directly behind Bobina, his championship rival. We'll see what he can do. Neymar gets P7. Dezonic P8, Facetas P9, DXD P10 ahead of his teammate Feta in P11, Sweller P12, Moo on his debut gets P13, and Killer did not set a lap due to retiring at the final corner. So everyone is on the wets for the final lap, meaning if it's dry, which you said it was, they have a free choice of tire. Every single driver. No one has to start on any tire that they qualified on.
Which I am expecting Aiden and most of the top 5 to start on mediums, but everyone has a cup of tea. They start on the soft, try and pull away from the. But yeah, we'll see.
Yep, there's the dry qualifying. Or dry race, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I opened up the race director, and there's already 3 drivers on the mediums, which actually, since Neymar's actually last. So instead of him starting 7th or 8th, wherever he was, he will actually have to start P14. Because, I don't know why. Because Zeno joined late into the session, too. So, I don't know.
That is weird.
Actually, Ginger, I believe, was put onto the mediums by default, and he's actually switched to the softs.
Yeah, everyone's gone soft except for DXD. Feta just splits to the medium.
Neymar
goes to the medium.
Killer.
Aiden stays on the medium so far. Trying the alternate. Actually, no, Aiden goes to the soft. Yep, there we go. So it looks like
It's a lot of mixed strategy.
Shamrocks. It goes both Haas go medium. Both Racing Points go medium. That is the AlphaTauri of Sweller and Killer both going medium.
Yeah. Left 5 people on the mediums. The rest of the field on softs.
Well then.
Yeah. Aiden, Ginger, Zeno, Bobina all on softs. Shamrock on mediums. Ritzy, Dezonic, Facetas all on. Actually, Ichigo switched to the softs last second.
He did.
Yeah, so that'll be 6th through 9th on softs. Feta and Sweller on mediums. Moo on softs. Killer and Neymar round out the field on the mediums. So, just about a third of the grid on the mediums. Everyone else are gonna do the normal strategy. And
5 drivers on the medium and 9 on the soft. So we're going to have a little bit of conflicting strategies. Racing Point has split. There's only one Alfa Romeo. Both McLarens go soft. Both Ferraris went soft. Both Williams go soft. Both Haas's went medium. So we're going to see how this team game strategy pulls out ahead of the 27 laps here at Suzuka. If you missed a week ago, we had to cut it short. Half points were awarded for a little bit of a mishap. 50% of the race was completed, a little bit over half actually. So now we're going to have a full race, hopefully, as the predicted race strategy comes up with a soft to hard one stop. You can also do a soft to medium one stop, or if you really are not too not too, adventurous onto the softs, you can do a medium to hard. As no one is on the hard, everyone is suggesting they are going to try to do that just normal strategy from soft to medium or medium to soft. Aiden is trying to weave his tires, get the temperature in the tires a little bit farther ahead of the two McLarens. They go bunch up the field going into the chicane for the final time before we take the red lights and we start this Japanese Grand Prix. There's only 4 rounds left to go, and Feta's gone off and already hit a bollard. He's
That's a good sign.
Adventurous himself. See how it goes indeed. Neymar takes his spot now as he goes up to the grid for spot number 14 for the Haas. Ahead of the 27 laps, 4 rounds left, 3 not including this one. We go to Coda, Mexico, Brazil, but right now we're in Suzuka and we're in Japan. We have 27 laps, 14 drivers, and plenty of time. The lights are not on for the drivers. Look at the right, bottom right of the screen. Wait for the revs to build up.
Here we go. Revs are going up.
Revs are on. The lights are on for the drivers. It is going to be 5 red lights, and it's lights out. And away we go. A tentative start, but a great reaction from the McLaren of Bobina. Look at him already now up into P3, but look at Zeno, his teammate, already up into P2. Ginger's been swapped around the outside for both McLarens into P2, but look at Ginger fighting back. He's going to try to take third away from Bobina onto the gravel, and onto the grass goes the McLaren as he stays ahead, but it's going to be Aiden from Zeno, from Ginger, from Bobina, from Ritzy, from Shamrock, who stays P6. Tazonic behind him. DXD, Faceta goes up a couple positions, moving up to P10. Feta drops a couple positions from Sweller, from Killer, from Neymar, and that is going to be everyone from Sector 1. It looks like we have a clean start so far.
Yeah, nice, clean first sector. You can already see a gap forming between Zeno and Ginger, almost already a second. But that won't mean anything at the moment, as there is no DRS, so. Ooh, Feta and Mumu.
It takes about 3 laps.
Oh,
and
contact.
that is going to be Feta and Mumu down in the back. Grab it. I can't even find it. Utsu scrapping into Spoon. Feta goes to the inside line. He's going to have to back out of it. Mumu will keep ahead into P10 on the softs for the Williams team. But he will have to be under pressure from that racing point. A little bit wide goes the racing point. Neymar gets past Killer for P13. And here comes Feta on the button. Can he try to go make a move into 130R? He's going a little bit too far back. He's going to look for it. No, he stays behind the Williams for another time. He's going to try to go make a move into the final chicane.
I'll tell him.
Nope, too far back. Stays behind. Well, up front, Aiden leads from Zeno, and Ginger splits the 2 McLarens after getting swapped off the line, both of the McLarens. Ritzy goes up a position, and that is going to be, what has Tazonic and Shamrock into turn 1. Tazonic drifting through. What a move.
They're still side by side, but Shamrock will back out of it.
We are in Japan. A little bit of Tokyo drift. Well, Tazonic makes that move work. He's now going to have to go chase after Ritzy Raccoon up in P5. DXD behind him, still looking. Oh, that is a darting
Shamrock
move.
and
It looks
Ichigo.
into Degna 2. Here they go again.
That's a warning.
DXD cuts the corner but gets ahead.
So we can't confirm it. Ichigo is now on one warning.
Penalties is going to be quite a killer here. If you keep your nose clean, you won't have to worry about it. But if you stay on the track, and you get those 3 seconds of time penalties, even a 3 would be detrimental. You don't even have to worry about a 6 or a 9. A 3 would kill your race here due to the DRS train, which is about to be enabled this time by, but is actually not going to be activated until lap 4.
Which, speaking of the... Oh, it's fun.
Yellow flag, that's going to be Killer.
Mumu and Killer. This
And that is
is a 5
severe
second.
damage. That is no front wing on the right side, and look at Mumu up in front. It looks
No
like
left
he
end
has
plate.
some damage.
Or no left wing at all.
No left wing. Not the start these 2 drivers needed, as Aiden goes fastest lap. Tazonic takes that away from one Ferrari to the other.
As if Satan's gonna go look for a move on Shamrock. Both drivers got a bit better, but Shamrock will be able to. Oh,
Facetas goes way off the track,
that's gonna
and
open
that's
the
going to
door
let
for Feta.
Feta get back him.
Yeah.
And
That's
Killer has
good.
DNF'd in the pit lane. He has retired and is out of the race on lap 2.
And then there's gonna have to serve that 5 second penalty that he got from that collision. He's gonna throw on the medium tires, so assuming a medium, as he gets the wing changed
Could
as well.
possibly.
Actually, Zeno's closed up really close to the back of Aiden.
Shamrock was close to the back of DXD exiting Degna 2. Trying to look for a move to the outside. Probably a switchback coming. Nope, nothing can do. DXD gets past the Haas up into P7 like we saw. So now it's going to be Shamrock splitting the racing points.
As Zeno's just outside of 4/10 on Aiden, heading down this back straight into 130R. Ginger 1.2 back, so there will be no DRS for him, as he's really low on battery. And he's gonna have...
Well, we spoke with Zeno before the race. He said he really needed a good race, as he has a chance to get knocked out of the championship contention this Grand Prix if Ritzy finishes ahead of him. So he wants to try to take every chance he can. The DRS now activated on to the back of the Ferrari with the button to the right-hand side. The McLaren's going to go for the move and through into P1. Zeno is now going to be leading the race.
So I may have heard Zeno yell in my left ear, or my right ear, going for it. So, yeah, he definitely went for it, and he got the move done into turn 1.
Going from one Ferrari to the other, you see a bit of a gap forming between Ritzy and Tazanek, 2.5 seconds. So a little bit of a train starting to form from 6th on back. So you see a little bit of strategy starting to be applied here. Everyone in the top 7 with softs, and everyone outside the top 8 is going to be on the mediums, except for Facetas in 10th.
But she has Neymar all up his gearboxes. Oh, Neymar's going to send it.
Still side by side, a little bit of contact, still more contact.
As I think Neymar's going to try and keep it going in the spoon. Oh, he backed out of it. Who else is close?
Neymar
Feta
playing the long
Shamrock.
game. Shamrock got a little bit off the power. Going the exit of Spoon, had a little bit of a moment there. So it's from one Haas to the other. Let's go look at Shamrock for a second as his fight.
Zeno,
Trying to
Aiden, and
defend
then
the racing
Bobina
point.
and Ginger.
Locking up into the chicane. That goes deep for Shamrock. That's going to give Feta maybe a little bit of an incentive with DRS this time by. He's going to have the button. He's going to have the DRS. He's going to have the inside line. He goes to the right-hand side, and that's going to be an easy pass on the Haas. Will Facetas get there, though? No, he won't. Shamrock closes the door before he even gets the chance to. So that's going to be Feta up to P8. Trying to go chase after his teammate now, stuck behind the Ferrari of Tazanek.
And you still have that trim from Ginger, Bobina, and Ritzy, 3rd through 5th. As Aiden and Zeno haven't really pulled anything on Ginger. Maybe about a 10th of the past 2 laps, but yeah, Ginger holding his own right now in P3.
Speaking of Ginger, he has a whole lot of pace behind him, both championship rivals. Ritzy off not too far back from Bobina. Bobina needs to gain about 38 points. It will not be won this race, but it can definitely be won next race if Bobina is not careful. He needs about, 52 points
52
going
points.
into Mexico, Ritzy does, to win the championship. At the moment, it's 38 points. So if Bobina, as it stands, will gain about, 2 points on the Alfa Romeo to put it down to 36.
Yeah, and then next week he'd have to outscore. Or no, he wouldn't have to outscore him. Ritzy would have to outscore him. Oh, Bobina's being
Oh,
very
Bobina on
optimistic.
Ginger. Bobina tried for it, couldn't get there, not close
Which
enough.
actually
He's going to have
really
the DRS,
hurt
though.
Ginger's exit. Actually, this may open it for Ritzy. Yeah, here comes Ritzy. Up the inside of Bobina. And we'll get up the inside of Ginger, too, going into turn 1. Actually, they're 3 wide.
3 wide! Into turn 1,
Ginger
it's going to be
split
Ritzy
through
from
the middle.
Bobina. Ginger going to lose out
And
both of
Bobina's
them.
now going to go for a move.
Ginger's been swamped by that McLaren about 2 times now, but thankfully there's no contact made as Bobina and Ritzy now fight it out for the final podium position. I also saw Facetas got passed by Neymar, I think it was, then fought back as DXD has about a second advantage on his teammate Feta as he's now trying to go and relinquish his racing point to the DRS train that is behind Tazanek.
There's actually, with that 3-way fight down Australia, they actually lost about 5/10 to them. To Aiden and Zeno Ed, so. Yeah.
Yep, it all started with that overtanked attempt going through the chicane. A compromised Ginger's exit. Bobina trying to go for a move, was put on the grass going through 18. That cost him time and allowed Ritzy to go up the inside of both of them. I'll see how that plays out. Ritzy now 1.5
Oh, Aiden and
behind
Zeno!
Aiden.
130R! Aiden makes the move through 130R. But now he's going to have Zeno, who's now going to have DRS on the main straight, is just going to easily be able to get back by him.
Aiden says he doesn't want to ride. Zeno says you can't have that. Here he comes back for the DRS. He's going to go to the right-hand side again. This time it won't be so easy. Side by side in turn 1. Will anyone lift? Will anyone back out? No, it won't. They're still side by side. Zeno will stay ahead. The switchback.
Oh,
Here
the
comes Aiden to the
nasty
inside of turn
switchback.
2. Around the outside of turn
Zeno
3. He'll
backs
keep
out
the
of it.
position.
As no, Zeno's going to come back at him. Around the outside of...
What is going on? Zeno to the inside of turn 6 into 7.
And they're still side by side
Zeno
going
get
up
the
the hill.
position. Aiden. Into Dunlop.
Oh.
He stays ahead.
Which actually, they just had a giant gap to Ritzy. Look at the gap now. It's gone.
8/10. Them doing that has single-handedly allowed Ritzy and Bobina into this race.
You know, I'm not mad because it's producing good racing, but I don't think they're happy now that Ritzy is about 8/10 off of the back of them.
Well, they need to be patient. They're trying to win the race on lap 7. And obviously, Ritzy and Bobina are thinking, you do that more often. We'll come in and try to get the win for you.
I don't know where any battles are, except for the lead. There's really no other battles. Everyone's about 5/10 spread out.
Well, Feta and DXD are close to each other. We'll have to keep an eye on that battle for P7 between the Racing Point, stuck behind the Ferrari of Tazanic, who's actually gained a bit on Ginger ahead, now from 2.5 to 2 seconds back. But the McLaren of Zeno's a little bit too far back. This time, Ritzy has the DRS, about 6/10 adrift of the McLaren, as the other McLaren of Bobina is about 8/10, but Ginger's now in
DRS
his
too.
DRS.
So right now the top 5
So now it's a
are all
5-way
in
fight for
here.
first.
And then the first giant gap is to Tazanic, who's 2 seconds back.
Well then, the race has opened up.
Yeah, I went from Zeno and Aiden to now. Well, Ginger's fallen
Everybody.
off. Ginger's fallen off a little bit, but yeah, pretty much the top 5. Which all
Well, if
these
it stands
drivers,
like this,
all these
I can
drivers on
tell
the
you
same
one
tires
thing.
too.
They are all on the same tires, so it's going to go down to pit stops, which is going to hurt McLaren. I was going to say it's going to benefit them in the championship, but now that you see the tires, what do they do for the drivers? There's 2 drivers for the same team.
Yeah, which
You can't double stack.
yeah, one driver will probably either go 9 or 10, and then the second one will have to go the following lap. I'm assuming Zeno's going to be the first one to pit, unless they think Bobina has more pace and they pit him first. Yeah, the first medium runner's Feta in 8th, and he's currently stuck up behind his teammate.
Sweller's actually boxed for the hards. I've missed that. He's now down in 12th, separating about 38 seconds adrift of Shamrock. The 2 Haas's in 10th and 11th. But we'll see here. This is the benefit of having 2 drivers in the top 4.
Oh, Neymar.
So you can play your game.
Neymar was optimistic and went for a move into the final chicane and caught the very end of it. And now, actually,
Mercedes
both
has battery,
drivers,
Neymar doesn't.
they neither one of them had battery. Let's just say that.
Well, Neymar didn't have enough battery to challenge him into turn 1. He's still on the rear wing of the Williams going into turn 2. He's not too far adrift. We'll keep in mind, though, keep that in the back of our head. But here comes the Sector 1 S's where dirty air plays a factor. But it should be around now that
It'll
the
be
medium's
this lap.
starting to become a little bit higher
Okay, this lap and next lap.
pace-wise.
We may see our first pit stops this lap. We'll see.
Well, it's gonna be. This is the play. This is the great game that McLaren has. Since they have 2 drivers in the top 4, they can pretty much do whatever they want. They can get Bobina now and keep Zeno out a lot longer, or they can do the opposite: get Zeno now and Bobina a lap longer, forcing these guys to either respond to the undercut or the overcut.
Which, no matter where they pit, they will come out in clean air by about 11.5 seconds, so not too bad. So I believe pit stop delta is around 20 seconds here, so not too bad.
They would come out behind Shamrock in P11. Let's see who goes in. Will anyone bite the bullet now?
Aiden's
Neymar
gonna
and
prevent
Facetas.
it.
Aiden goes in.
Oh.
Neymar's out of the race. So is Facetas.
What has happened? And there's safety car. Aiden
That is
and
at the
Aiden,
run.
Ginger, Tazanic, Ichigo. They have all just gained massively from this.
Yes, they have.
Unless,
So
yeah,
has Ginger.
Zeno caught the safety car. Yeah, and Aiden, Ginger, Ichigo, and Tazanic have made out massive from this. Which I'm curious on where these 2 wrecked. It's in the final chicane.
Yeah, the final chicane.
Let's
Looks like it may have been
See if we,
the wall that
well, we
sticks
can
out.
catch to it.
I think they may have already been.
Which
cleared.
actually, look at the top
They
3.
have.
McLaren are gonna lose massively from this. This actually
they are.
hurts Feta and Shamrock too, because they no longer have that undercut potential. Not
The
undercut,
drivers
but
that
driver.
helps is Aiden and Ginger, 100%.
Yeah,
Look
Aiden.
at Ferrari.
Aiden's now
They're
winning.
provisional what?
Yep, Aiden's now
1-4?
provisional leader. Ginger's second. Ichigo third, and Tazanic 4th.
Well, their boxes, he's going to go off his hards onto the mediums. Moo will grab off the mediums onto the hards, so kind of a little bit of an inverse of those two, but
Yeah,
kind of had to. He
Moo
was on
did
two
have
sets of
another
medium.
set of. Oh wait, did he start on the mediums or did he start on the softs?
He started on medium, I think.
No, he started on the softs. He just doesn't have another set of mediums.
He could have not had another set of medium.
He probably went the softer strategy.
Well, the safety car comes out here on lap 9. Now we're on lap 10, and it's going to be a little bit of interesting pit strategy. What did McLaren do? Ritzy has a free open slot.
They have
He just
to.
go into the pits.
They have to double
hards.
stack him.
What do they do? I mean, they have to.
I mean, they can't let Bobino or Zeno stay out there because by the time they restart, those softs are dead. So, both drivers are going to have to pit onto those mediums tires, and then they're going to have to make all those positions back that they just lost off of that safety car. Which would be to Ginger, Ichigo, to Sonic, and Bobina's going to maybe lose out to Sweller. Depends on how much Sweller gains.
We'll see who comes in. Zeno comes in, Ritzy comes in, all three of them come in.
Yep. And Drunken's going to come in and put on the hards.
Well, they can make it, and they could possibly even be a little bit better tire life at the end of the Grand Prix.
Bobina having to sit there and wait for the rear Jackman to move.
I think he'll come out clear of Sweller, so we'll be P. Actually, it's a great thing for Zeno that Ritzy and Shamrock pitted. He's now to P6, but overtaking's still difficult here.
Yeah, I mean, still, our whole top 3 basically got shaken up except for Aiden.
You can invite Neymar if he wants to, by the way. I don't think he wants to.
Let's see. No, there's only, or no, Skipson's a different game. I'll invite him. Let's see.
I don't know if Facetas and Killer both want to. I think Facetas doesn't have a mic either, so.
Yeah. I'm waiting to get a message on Instagram saying what you want. Oh, he's in here. Welcome. After you would include your audio, we'd like to ask you a couple questions.
Maybe.
Hey, what's up?
Your audio included?
Yep.
Alright. What happened?
So, I was on the inside, 130R. Base taste when it goes off the track. So I take the racing line. Then he came back on racing line, and I flipped. Yeah.
Alright. How do you think your race was going up until that point, which safety car is going to be in this lap, so we'll be resuming racing?
I couldn't pass anybody.
Alright, so I'm gonna free you, let you go back to playing MLB, whatever you're doing.
Yes.
That is going. He went early. Ginger got caught majorly sleeping as Aiden's gonna go around the outside freely into turn 1.
Aiden's released.
As Ichigo's now P2. Bobina gets around Shamrock pretty easily there. There's wings flying. What is happening in 4th? Zonic has wing damage off the back of Ginger. Zeno's trying whatever he can to get around these two.
He's not careful. Ritzy will look at the back of him, trying to go for a move through Degna. So we're going to have to take advantage of it. Ginger hops over the grass and the curb. He's going to have a warning. Oh, Zonic.
Here comes Ritzy.
The inside of turn 11. Will it move? It's going to be outside line for Zeno. He's going to have better traction. The McLaren will stay ahead. But will Ritzy be under threat from Bobina now? Zeno goes defensive into Spoon, trying to go figure it out, trying to make sure he does not get overtaken. He now has a chase after Zonic, who does have that wing damage. Both drivers ride the curb. Zeno taps the back of
Zeno's
Zonic.
trying everything he can to stay off the back of him, but there's nothing he can do. I'm sure he'll be optimistic going down for the final chicane. We'll try and get by him before the straightaway. Yep, as he dumps the battery. into the final chicane. He will. Oh, bit of contact, I think. Yep.
Oh, looks like he was spun around almost. But I
Oh,
don't think there's any
Swiller.
damage to everyone
Oh my God,
else.
there's contact everywhere. This Bobina and Swiller made contact. Now Moon was me on the back of Bobina. At least Bobina, yeah, Bobina's gonna dump the battery, make sure that he stays in front. But now it's a 2-second gap from Zeno to Ginger. And Ritzy's still.
This race has been
What is
on his
happening?
head. Classic Tier 2. This is one thing
Yeah.
you always gotta suspect. The classic Tier 2 safety car with chaos right behind it. Right now, I think one driver that is really being lost out here is going to be Feta on those 12-lap mediums. I mean, he's going to be on the softs, but
Yeah, right
He's gonna
now
have
the
to pass
gap
her.
to the final car would be relatively about 12 seconds for him to make up to get to the Sweller.
well, in the inverse boat, DXD, he's only 8/10 behind. Will they possibly have a team orders play here at Racing Point? They're on a fight for the championship, so they obviously know what they're fighting for. About 13 points adrift from McLaren, and McLaren obviously both can make it to the end. So if DXT gets a good points haul and Feta does not hamper him at all, we could possibly see a Racing Point up on that podium, and maybe even Ginger
Yeah, at the moment.
trying to hold the two McLarens at bay.
At the moment, Echigo is technically P2, so that's 18 points for Racing Point, and then Zeno would be 4th, Bobina would be 6th. That is 20 points for McLaren. So Racing Point would still be losing out 2 points, but Feta will be on those softs, and possibly will be able to get to P10. So yeah, good.
See what he can do. A lot of chances left.
Still, yeah, 14 laps left. Shit.
Well then, up front though, Aiden is cruising. 2 seconds adrift, he is clear. He has a lot of leeway between the two Racing Points to Ginger to DXD. Sorry, from Ginger and DXD, then to Zeno to Ritzy to Bobina.
Which Zeno's actually
move-
gapped Ritzy quite a bit.
He has. We have to make sure that no damage to any car, as they were all in that scrap with Tazonic. Ritzy has none that we can see visually.
Trying to check Bobina's front wing.
I think Zeno is all good as well. So these
Yep,
three may have come
Bobina's
out
good.
clear.
Bobina's good.
Which is good for those three, so then they can fight on. Ginger is going to be under pressure if he's not careful, 1.1. But Ritzy has still put the pressure on, 0.6 of a second between Zeno and to Ritzy.
Which we should.
It's just not the day, but we
We
needed.
should see Racing Point make some team order plays here down the straightaway. Because if Feta lets Ichigo go, and he can hold up Ginger and hopefully get Ichigo a gap.
See, it's closing.
But Feta, no,
Nothing.
no team orders.
No team orders at play for Racing Point, which I'm not really sure I agree with that call there, but we'll figure it out. They'll move on. Still about 13 laps to go here at Suzuka.
As a driver,
And while DXT stuck behind Feta, Ginger's coming.
yeah,
Now in the DRS.
as a driver who started in the Racing Point. Oh,
Oh!
Zeno has
Oh!
spun up the hill. Does he have wing damage? I don't know. I can't see the
Don't
left end
think
plate.
so. I
Nope,
don't-
he's still
no,
fine.
He does not have damage.
Shamrock gets 3 second.
Right now, this hurts Bobina even more. This is going to be, what, 4 points gained to Ritzy, putting the total at, what, 42? Meaning
Yep.
he only needs about 10 points,
He needs to outscore by
Lost
10
it
points
next
next week.
which is really easily done if not careful
Which
to win it.
actually Ritzy's P4, Bobina's P6. Is that still? That's still 4 points. So
Yeah, that is still 4 points. But if anything changes ahead, he has about 1.3 seconds to Ginger. He could make it more.
man, why? Oh, yep, there goes
There they
Feta and Ichigo, but I think they did it too
Big
late because
switch.
Ginger's right
They
there.
did it way too late. Is Feta... I mean, Feta maybe has, what, 1 or 2 more laps or so, maybe, on
Oh,
those mediums? But Ginger's here.
Ginger won't get by him this lap, so Ichigo will get about a lap or two of his teammate being behind him. and Ginger being stuck.
He needs to
in
get
this
moving,
thing.
though, because it looks like Feta has a lot more of an entry speed and corner apex speed than the lead racing point right now.
Yeah. Which actually, Ritzy's now only 5/10 off of Ginger. So, that's... This battle for technically second is heating up. I'm gonna keep that warnings real quick. Just for my own...
See, Feta's really pressuring the back of his teammate here. Instead of holding holding Ginger up, he's actually pressurizing DXD maybe a little bit too much. Looks like Feta may still have the stronger pace of the racing points right now.
Yeah, I mean, wait, let's check later gap. He's 5 seconds.
DXD cannot seem to get the corner.
I mean, right now, Shamrock is gonna be about 12 seconds in front of Feta once Feta pits, so it's gonna be.
And he has what? Whenever he pits.
You'll have about
Oh, look at
10
these two.
laps.
Ginger and Ritzy down the inside of the chicane. Around the outside, actually, Ritzy goes. He goes up to P4. See, I told you they did it too late, because now Ritzy's right here.
Yep. Which, I mean, Zeno's also gaining a lot from this, too. It's the two racing points, they just have a train right now, and it's bringing everyone back to them. So we could very well see Ichigo, Ritzy, Ginger, Zeno, and Bobina all battling for second and third at the end of this race.
We could, but it depends on penalty situations too. What is everyone looking at? Because if you get a penalty in the latter stages of the race, there's no recovering if you're in that DRS train.
I have looked at the warnings for Ichigo, Ritzy, and Ginger, which I don't know if I want to say anything or not. I could. It seemed like I could. I'm gonna check on Zeno and Bobina.
Well, don't look now, but Ritzy is really close to the back of Feta in the racing point. If he tries to get a good run at the Spoon, he could try to overtake. Nope, he's not close enough. But if he gets a good run exiting of Spoon, he could possibly try a move at a 130R at the chicane. Feta gasses it up midway through Spoon curve. And actually gets a good exit trying to defend his way
Actually,
through.
Feta's been pitting this lap. He has the blue wrench on his, what's it called, MFD. So, I will most likely release Ritzy on Ichigo.
So he's going to have 9 laps with those soft compounded tires.
Does Zeno
to
have
try and
DRS?
get 10.
Or no, Feta's staying out another lap.
Feta's staying out.
Zeno does not have DRS. Why?
Comes Ritzy, though. He's getting closer, just not close enough into 1. There's only 1 DRS straight here, and that just really hampers everyone with that DRS train being activated. Stuck behind the racing point of DXD.
Which, I mean, if you look at the ERS situation of most of these drivers, I mean, yeah, Ichigo and Bobina are sitting amazing right now. But you can actually, if you look at the gap between Ichigo and Feta, it's growing. And
It is growing. Looks like Feta's tires may be falling off a bit.
but he had the blue wrench last lap on his MFD, so I don't know why he didn't pit, but he's doing him. As Feta now has the engine glitch. Never mind. It went away.
Well, he could go in this time by, and if that is the case,
Uh-oh, I
he has
spot a
what?
Zeno kid on the back of Ginger. There. This is gonna be a spicy last, like, 10 laps.
it will. Here comes Zeno. Is he going to try to go for an overtake on Ginger? He's going to look to the inside. He's going to try to... Nope, just not close enough. Trying to peek for it, but could not get the move stuck.
Yes, there goes Feta.
Feta stays out. No, he goes in.
I was waiting for him to pit wall.
But
Zeno
Zeno, though,
fast
he to the
fastest
left-hand
lap.
side or the right-hand side, I'm sorry, with the fastest lap. He's not going to go try to get ahead of Ginger in the Mercedes, but he's just not close enough. Yes, he gets it done now.
The gap between Ichigo and Ritzy is 9/10, so that's... You can maybe hold Ritzy off for a couple of laps, but at the end of the race, I don't think there's going to be much Ichigo's going to be able to do about it.
So Feta does come out ahead of Tazonic in 10th. So he has about 13 seconds and about 8 laps to do so.
Which I
And
believe
try
Shamrock
and
has a
get-
penalty, or a 3-second
He
penalty.
does
as
have
well.
a time penalty.
Yeah, he does have 3 seconds, so that gap is about 10. between him and Shamrock. So Racing Point,
Well, it can be doable.
Racing
Just gotta
Point
get it done.
could come out here with more points than McLaren. So, you could
There's a
see
good
the
chance
gap
Feta
drop
just
a
needs to
tiny
get
bit.
the hammer down.
Zeno does have the fastest lap right now, the 29.7.
Well,
Barely.
Zeno's not the only thing that's going to be fastest. He's catching the back of Ritzy. Ritzy made a tiny mistake through Spoon. He's now even closer, about 3/10 or so adrift, 3.5 or more likely. Going through, Zeno kind of edging off. Not as much battery as Ritzy ahead, and Ritzy kind of using some of that electrical deployment. Going through 130R, kind of catching the back of the Racing Point of DXD actually. Now 7/10 separates those two. On the DRS and on the button again, Zeno grabs the fastest lap again.
Zeno won't be able to get there, he doesn't have the battery to do it.
And Bobina gets past Ginger, I missed that. Now Bobina has been released up into P5. McLaren is now sitting pretty, 4-5 again.
Yeah, I was talking about, Sweller and Mumu are battling in the back. Sweller went way off at turn 1.
Well, he gets it back on and avoids any contact with the driver that we can see, and that's huge.
That could be massive if we have a Tier 2 Classic and a safety car in like the last 2 laps. That could change this race.
He's pretty much led from almost start to finish, barring a couple safety car laps and the couple laps that Zeno went through trying to overtake and lead the pack. But Aiden has pretty much showed his display of his pace here at Suzuka, and if that penalty relegates him down to P2 or 3, or even further down if a safety car comes out, that would be so heart-wrenching for the Ferrari driver that had not that great of a race at Singapore a week ago, but now got the pole and has been leading more laps this race than Ferrari has in the entire season. That would be heart-wrenching for him.
I'm just looking at this 2nd through 4th. I want
Ritzy's
to have.
there.
I want
Zeno
to
is
have,
even closer.
Zeno's there.
Here he goes.
On the outside.
Zeno to the right-hand side, or left-hand side, I'm sorry.
Oh,
a
please
little bit of
don't
contact,
hit each other.
squeezing the two. Ritzy's in the wall.
Any damage?
Ritzy has damage. Right side end plate gone. Front right side front wing gone.
He has nothing on that right side.
He has nothing on the right side. It's a plank.
This Feta sets
Feta grabs
fastest
the
lap.
fastest lap.
That is heartbreaking for Ritzy. That's gonna
Around
let
the outside
goes
for
Bobina.
Bobina. Bobina's gonna get through, and Ritzy's been spun round.
It's
Even more insult to injury for the championship leader. This is not what he needed.
This is gonna drop him outside the points. This is gonna drop him behind Tazonic and Feta.
If Ritzy doesn't get points here and Bobina grabs P4 at the moment,
I'm gonna have to
put
see
him
that
down
incident.
to 6 points.
Yep. Which he technically, actually, he could lock up the championship next week at this rate, but
This is not what he needed at all.
Jesus.
From one heartbreak to another, Zeno, he said he needed a good race. Well, now he's gotten it. He's got a great chance. He's going to try to go for P2.
Actually,
locks up.
Tiny bit of contact, but
With the DRS, DXD goes defensive to the far right-hand side of the wall, but will we see a steward inquiry for the McLaren of Zeno? Zeno looking, trying to go around the outside, just wasn't enough space. DXD understeering through the exit of turn 2 into 3. It's all to play for. Bobina's now going to be about DRS in a second. Ritzy does come into box. He's going to try to probably steal fastest lap on the softs. But the McLaren's now 3-4. If they get around, that's a yellow flag, and that is the Haas.
Shamrock. Yep. Which there goes Tazonic. Ritzy's gonna have a pretty big gap to make up if he wants to score any points this race. Bobina scoring 12 points. Yeah, it's 26 going into next week. But
there's a chance Zeno slides through. Shamrock gets a 3-second time penalty. That's not going to help him either. Bobina's not going to be on his rear wing.
Which, from the sounds of the McLaren party that I am hearing, it's going to be, there's no team orders for McLaren. This is going to be an all-out battle for the 2nd and 3rd. between these three.
It's
Wait.
going to be an all-out battle between teammates with DXD stuck in the middle. So look out, DXD. You may want to try to go contact your teammate. Oh, Ritzy, even more insult to injury.
You can't catch a break.
From front wing damage to
spinning
spinning
off
to
Bobina.
no points to
spinning
now
off
a
his championship
time
rival
penalty.
at that.
Yeah,
To
both
now-
McLarens sent him out of the points.
Got tag teamed.
We're not laughing at you, we're laughing with you, Ritzy, but I know you're
Oh
probably
my!
not going
Oh,
to be laughing at
Sweller
all.
and Mumu make contact at turn 2, and Sweller's around. What is happening?
Fede's going to try to go for it. He actually gets it done. Goes for the gap and grabs it, so that's going to be 4 points for Feta. So even more for Racing Point. They're actually probably going to go clear of Alfa Romeo a decent amount now.
It
But it's still going
depends.
to be up to
Ichigo.
McLaren.
If Ichigo beats both of them, it's 18. McLaren is scoring 27. So Feta needs to get to at least 6. Which he very well could in these last 5 laps.
Well, if I was DXD and I saw a rear view mirror of not one,
But two
two
McLarens,
charging
yeah.
McLarens, I would be a little scared here.
Which...
Zeno got the better run
Uh-oh.
through
Here comes
Spoon
Bobina.
into 130 yard. Here
Oh,
we
Ichigo
go!
gets in the
Here we
grass.
go!
Uh-oh.
Side by side through 130 yards.
Here
Zeno
comes
gets
Bobina.
past. DXD's now here comes Bobina to the inside. Not one, but 2 McLarens. Down the inside into
Bit of
16.
contact.
Contact made.
Bobina's gonna get the run out of the
But now
corner.
DRS is going to go to Bobina. Can he get through?
Oh,
He
they
has a
both
lot
have
more
DRS.
ERS.
It's a battery dump central down the straightaways. Bobina's gonna get it. Going
Side
into
by
turn
side
1.
into turn 1.
And
The
now
right hand screen.
Bobina.
Bobina's ahead. DXD fights back.
Ichigo sent it. Hold on.
He sent it back into turn 2, but he's not going to have enough space on the outside of 3 into 4, and he has to relegate to P4. Right now it's a double McLaren podium chasing down, but look at this gap at the first. 9 seconds.
I don't know
Aiden
if he
is
can.
clear.
I don't think he can close 6 seconds. Zeno can.
This is the race McLaren has been hoping for ever since Spa.
Ritzy take fast.
Ritzy grabs the
stop.
fast lap again. He has 5 seconds. 5 seconds, about 3 laps or so. I think it was doable. I think Ritzy can grab a point.
It is doable.
But that's all he's going to get. So right now, it's going to cut down to 24 points.
Which, I mean, this won't. I mean, Alfa Romeo won't get hurt much from this, but Ritzy will get hurt a lot from it, as there are no Red Bulls racing tonight.
And Sweller's not having a great day either, but that's going to help out him in the championship. He's going to get about 2 points ahead of his teammate Incited, who they were tied going into this race, and actually leapfrogging him ahead of Zanav into, I believe, P5 in the
here we go.
championship.
I spot 2 teammates battling for P2.
Well, now this is where a little ethical dilemma comes in.
Oh, yep, Zena's
And
gonna let
we
him go.
do have a team swap.
Yep, and they're
I knew it would happen.
and now it's only a
Bobina
20.
to P2.
That's technically only a 12-point gap.
I was questioning if they were going to do it. I don't know if they were going to play nice or not, but it looks like team orders did come into a play.
Which I mean,
Bobina, the championship
there's
hopeful, gets past his
3
teammate.
laps left. I don't think he can close almost 7 seconds, but we'll see.
Will it be, though?
It's
Will they
doable.
have to let him through back at the final lap, or is it going to be a full team play to the end? Let's see how nice these guys play.
We'll see. And plus, we don't even know what happened with, in all honesty, what happened between Bobina and Ritzy, so could be in stewardess
That's the
inquiry
thing.
after
We
that.
could see not 1, but 2 inquiries. One for Ritzy against Bobina, and the other one against Zeno.
I think we've already
So
gotten.
for all we know, we could see Ginger and DXD on the
We
podium.
already
You
have
never
one
know.
incident.
Yep, it's Posadas and Neymar.
Yep. So, very fun.
I mean, I don't know
Those
how much.
freaking
I
fed
mean, you
on
obviously,
Shamrock.
you and me both were here a season ago and saw the exact chaos that it was. And this season has ramped up that chaos to a level.
Oh.
That's a yellow flag, and
Oh,
that is going to be.
Tizonic.
Is that Dizonic?
Oh.
Ritzy gets past
Yep,
Dizonic.
Ritzy's
And
so
Fennec gets past
20.
Shamrock.
22 points now separating Bobina and Zeno. Which I think that's the best Ritzy's going to get is P10. He won't be able to
He
get
has 19
Sweller.
seconds. I don't think he's going to get Sweller.
He won't get it. Bobina's
And the
close for
gap between
second.
Zeno and... Actually, look at that. Zeno and Bobina
Yeah.
has closed. There's a huge gap between those two. DXT's now in the fight in DRS of the McLaren in front of Zeno.
Which, if there is an inquiry between Bobina and Ritzy, and Bobina does get found at fault, it'll probably be a 5-second, which he has that gap over Ginger, but he needs another 3 seconds over Ichigo and another 4 seconds over Zeno. Or is it 4 seconds? No, it's 3 seconds. I can't do math.
Well, look at the left front tire of DXT whenever we get the chance. I saw it through the S's. It doesn't look pretty.
Oh yeah, you can see the...
You can see the graining on the left front tire of the
Not
racing
very
point,
good.
so maybe the tires come into play. Can't really see it.
Actually, now you say that, looking at Aiden's tires. I mean, these tires will make it, but they do not look pretty. Because they
Yeah, you can see it on the right front. But here we go, the final lap of the Grand Prix here at Japan. 26 down, one more to go for Aiden. Can he get it? He's 8.8 ahead. That's a yellow flag. I
Is
believe that is
Tazonic off?
Tazonic, his teammate. Yes, it is. He pitted for the softs and spun about 4 corners later. That's unfortunate.
He just needs to not go a lap down.
Well, even if he does go a lap down, it wouldn't really hamper him much.
Well, no, because if he goes a lap
It's
down, he won't be
37
able to have a
seconds.
shot to take the fastest lap.
That's true, actually. If he can take it away from Ritzy, that'll help
Bobina,
Bobina a lot, actually.
which... I mean, if Bobina was to get a 5-second, he would get 12. And Ritzy would get 1 if Tazonic takes the fastest lap. So 11 points. It would be 27 going in the next league.
Yes, it will be. So it's going to be all to play for in Austin a week from now and even more 2 weeks from now and Mexico City for the championship. But that's not why we're here today. We've taken a long time to say this. It has not been a kind season and a half for Ferrari. The last time their driver stood on the top step of the podium, they actually haven't in 2 seasons. Well, they have now. Aiden will win the Japanese Grand Prix. It only took him 1 extra week, but he got redemption from Singapore. Bobina, he gets P2. That's going to help him a lot in the championship fight. And Zeno on a week back, he needed a good race.
Oh,
He
Feta
got
gets
it.
Mumu.
P3, that's a podium.
But in the final corner, he's going to get Mumu. Alright, never mind.
Oh, side by side, they're not done yet. Mumu's going to grab him, but he's going to have a penalty.
He will have
Fetta's
the
going to ahead of him. So Feta recovers to 6th, DXT to 4th. That is not going to be enough for them to gain on McLaren at 2-3 compared to a 4-6. Mumu on his debut grabs P7, Sweller P8 to Shamrock P9. Ritzy will come across now into the final couple of corners
All
to
eyes
grab
on
1
Tazonic now.
point. But can Tazonic take the fastest lap?
He needs to get 2 seconds to beat Ritzy's fastest lap.
Fastest lap to aim for is a 27.7. Tazonic's at a 29.7. Can he do it? He has plenty of battery. He has the tires. And he has the pace. He just needs to unlock it. Into the Sector 2 split.
2.1.
2 seconds.
Yep.
This could be the lap that Ritzy really didn't need to see. From one Ferrari taking the victory, can the other one steal Ritzy of the fastest lap? Tazonic to the
Yeah,
final
get it.
corner. Can he do it? Yes, he did.
27-4.
3/10. It has not gone right for Ritzy today.
It went from what could have been hero to absolute almost 0.
Well then, like we said, the last couple of Ferrari drivers that's been on the top step of the podium for qualifying HRC, Overlord, and now you have Aiden, but it's been a lot longer for a Ferrari victory in Tier 2. Aiden finally gets that one done for the Scuderia, and that is a 1 great finish for McLaren indeed. A 2-3 for McLaren and a great finish for Zeno that he needed, and Bobina for the
Bobina needed that
championship.
too.
Well, here we go then. We already know the top 3, but it has not any less significant. DXC grabs 4th once again. Ginger splits the racing points. Feta rebounds and grabs 6th after the strategy call that didn't work out with a safety car. Moo grabs P7, P8 to Sweller, P9 to Shamrock. Ritzy, what could have been? He could have got a P2, but not one, but 2 incidents with both McLarens sent him spinning round and out of the points. Thankfully, with Tazonic's mistake, he got himself into the points for Ritzy. But Tazonic fought back. He grabbed the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, taking that away from Ritzy. Neymar crashed out with contact through 130R into the chicane with Facetas, and Killer crashed out on lap 2 in the pit lane. Actually retired in the pit lane, but that is it for the Grand Prix here in Suzuka. And what one has been. Do you mind inviting them to the party?
Do I have to?
Yes, you have to. That is your job.
Man. Which work? Alright. Make sure audio is included. Zane, are you good?
Yeah.
Alright. So, T3. I'm trying to pull up the points and I'm trying to do math at the same time. It's not very great. Where are the points? So, let's just start off with a basic question. You and Bobina 2 and 3. You had a lot of pace this race. That safety car looked like it really hurt you and Bobina, McLaren in general. Do you think you could have had a shot to win that if that safety car didn't come out?
Oh, probably. Like, if it wasn't for that safety car, I would have behind Aiden, and we would have had the chance for the win. He had the 3 second. But it's like, it is what it is. It kind of happened. But ideally, I wasn't really looking more for the win. I'm just trying to do as much as I could for the constructors, in which, like you said, 2-3, that's pretty big for the constructors. So, ideally, we're just the maximum that we can for it, and I would say we almost got it.
Yeah, speaking of constructors, you guys are 26 points ahead of Racing Point now. I don't know the math to Alfa Romeo. It should be 48 to Alfa Romeo, so really good point stay for you guys. So 3 races left now. Looking a lot more promising.
I'd hope so.
Alright, so now we're gonna move on to Bobina. Amazing race for you tonight. Ritzy did not have a lot of luck. Finished P10. Got lap stole in the last lap. So you outscored him by 17 points. So the gap is now down to 21 going into Austin. A lot more confident now, or?
Not really. I think Ritzy can still hold me off, but you know, just because he had one bad race doesn't mean he's gonna have more bad races ahead of us. I don't know how, or I don't know what will happen to my podium, because I don't know what happened to me and Ritzy, but yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, which if you do get a 5-second penalty, that will only demote you to 4th, so won't hurt you too bad, but obviously you'll lose 6 points on that. And trying to think. Yeah, I think that's all I have. And unless you wanted something to say about the constructors.
Yeah, no.
You're a catcher.
What?
Go, do Aiden.
Alright, fine. You obviously
I'm
don't know
not
how
doing
this
everything.
works, do you?
I do second and third, you do winner. That's how this is gonna work.
Alright, fine. Okay, you know what? I'll give in. This is your first day on the job, but I'll give in. I'll make some compromises, you know? Alright, Aiden. It's been kind of a rocky road. I mean, last week ago, you had a really good start to the campaign. What was it, 2 in qualifying? With that great successive lap in Singapore?
Yeah.
But now you had one better, not only in qualifying, but in the race. You got that main Grand Prix victory. I know you did it in Tier 3, but this is probably a little bit more enticing, don't you think?
Yeah, I guess, but honestly, I just got really lucky throughout the entire race with that safety car, and then like Feta let me by on the restart, I think, because he like pulled to the right and let off. So that helped me, and he held up his teammate and everyone behind. And I think Tazonic, he got damaged, so that held up people behind. So it was honestly just really, really lucky for me, and from my point of view.
Yeah, it was kind of a very chaotic race, especially, but, you know, that's one thing you probably will note back. I don't know if you're going to watch the stream back or not, but it's been more than, I think, at least a season and a half since the last victory for Ferrari. What does that mean? I know it doesn't mean anything, it's not the actual Ferrari, but still, you're the first one in about a season and a half to win for the Scuderia.
That's kind of cool. I mean,
Good.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
Yeah, I mean, at least you said something to it. I know it's some people at Ritzy that wouldn't say anything. But anyway, well, once again, that was a great race. Congrats on your podium. Congrats on both McLaren podiums for today. That is a great deal for the constructors, for you guys. I forgot to change it to Ferrari. I am really bad at this. Anyway, so, but we're not done yet. In about 30 minutes time, actually, it's about 40 minutes time. Once again, we're early. You guys astound me how early you could be. Tune in for Tier 1 at Suzuka for their round 14 of the Tier 1 Championship for the Breakout Racing League.
I'm gonna
We can
wreck.
see the likes of Hoopalicious Chandler. Taylor is actually there.
I'm
I'm there,
flipping.
but I don't think anyone cares about that. You're not flipping. Don't flip. Don't be Neymar.
Have you seen the clip?
And you get to see Piero Prandi possibly change the last, what was it, 2 or 3 years or so that Ryan has swept the championship. He could possibly lock the championship tonight. Tune in for that. But for the rest of us in Tier 2, and myself and Taylor up in here in the booth, as well as Bobina, Aiden, and Zeno, we all thank you for tuning in, but that's not over yet. You can tune in tomorrow for ACC at about, was it 7:30? For the, actually, I'm sorry, 7 for the ACC Championship Round 2 here at Donington Park, and you get to see the likes of everyone on the ACC side of things take to the track at Donington.
And
What a
be the
good
safety
track
car.
that is indeed. And yes, you get to see Taylor being the safety car again. He's not Pink Boy this time, but he is there. You mean a Lamborghini this time?
No, the
Lamborghini.
Lambo's for. I don't know. I don't remember the track name. What? Wait, what
Are you
track
doing
is it this week?
Mercedes? Donington.
Oh, I'm the Mercedes.
Alright, yeah, you get to see Taylor in the Mercedes, but that's not all yet. You get to see Tier 5 and Tier 6 on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You get to see their circuits around the Suzuka track, and you get to see how well they can do. I think Joseph could also take the championship home Monday as well for Tier 6, so tune in for that and show him some love. But for myself and Taylor, like I said, and everyone here in the Tier 2 Breakout Racing League Championship, we say goodnight and thank you for tuning in.